Hi, I'm Ann Peterson, Science Coordinator at the Virginia Department of Ed.
And my name is Josh Behrman, and I'm a Science Specialist with the Virginia Department of Ed. And we're here today to talk to you about science and engineering practices in the 2018 curriculum framework. And why did the structure of the curriculum framework change from the 2010 standards to now the 2018 curriculum framework?
Well, the structure of the curriculum framework did change in significant ways. We have included the central idea, we have included vertical alignment to inform teachers of what goes on before and after the concepts introduced in that grade level or discipline. And we have also intentionally pulled away from having a table within the point ones. And we've done that so that those point ones could be integrated within the content, with the expectation that those science and engineering practices are not taught in isolation of content.
How do you think this shift will affect science instruction in Virginia?
Well, I think it was an unintentional consequence that those science and engineering practices were taught in isolation. So the hope is that with the bullets that are indicated by leaves in the science curriculum framework, these denote the science and engineering practices. We intentionally use those science and engineering practices to build meaning of science concepts.
And are teachers still expected to incorporate inquiry into their lessons?
Of course. Inquiry is a way of giving students more ownership in their learning. As you know, there are different levels of inquiry, and there's scaffolding that needs to go on with inquiry. At the elementary level, students begin to learn about these science and engineering practices, and teachers play a role in facilitating the inquiry. As they grow more confident in their abilities and have more experiences with science and engineering practices, students can take a greater level of ownership. Inquiry is a basic phenomena of science. It is what scientists do as they develop questions, as they research information, as they develop procedures and draw conclusions based on data. So we expect that to be done throughout the K-12 education.
You mentioned engineering, which will be new for some teachers. Can you talk about why engineering was added to all of the dot ones and throughout the framework?
Well, the decision to include engineering was informed by many national and international documents. We were looking at best practices in science and science in general, and engineering is the application of science concepts. Now, we wanted to be very careful with the use of engineering. We want application of science content where it is appropriate within the curriculum. To help with that, we have come up with an engineering design process that has many similarities to what we do in inquiry. Students, instead of asking a question, they define a problem. And that problem is based on societal need. They then do the research just like you do in inquiry. They develop a set of procedures, or they develop a protocol or a prototype that they can use to solve that societal problem. They test it, and they gather data as they test it. They revise, and they come up with a solution. So that engineering is informed, as I said, by national and international documents, but it is truly an application of science content and only should be used where it supports science instruction.
That's all the questions I have. Do you have anything else to add?
We're really excited about the inclusion of engineering. I think many teachers have been doing it over the years. This just legitimizes the use of engineering in the science classroom. Again, when you're doing anything with inquiry or engineering in science, we want to make sure that that content and the connections to the content is explicitly made before, during, and after instruction. We're excited that we have the engineering method that we have developed, and we hope to have videos to share that method with you in the future. And again, if you ever have questions about science instruction, or if you have any recommendations for ancillary documents or support we can provide through the Virginia Department of Education, please let us know. And thank you.